My concern is that we are not represented, that we're not being seen, that the proper images are not being presented. Simply that.
George Stanford Brown, director-actor who starred in The Rookies, remembers a time when many blacks played lead dramatic roles. The detective in Tenafly, the surgeon in Peyton Place, the legal aid in Ironside, the electronics expert in Mission Impossible, the teacher and counselor in Room 222.
We are much more advanced in our society than we are on television at this particular time. I don't know why, because at one time there was much more of a representation of that on television, but right after Roots it seemed to have dropped lower than it had been in 10 years.
Lou Gossett, who won an Emmy for his role as Fiddler in Roots, went on to a lead film part in The Deep and more dramatic television roles. He'll soon co-star in NBC's The Powers of Matthew Starr. But his ABC series, Lazarus Syndrome, was just one of last year's many canceled shows starring blacks. At ABC, there were two other casualties of low ratings, One in a Million and 10 Speed and Brown Shoe with Ben Vereen.
We were put on a time schedule that was impossible. You know, they didn't give us the chance. And they were coming around and saying, well, we like the show. We really like the show, but, gee, guys, it's just ain't getting the numbers, you know. It's not getting the numbers. You're not giving it the push. If you care for the show, if you want the show to work, then the networks are going to support the show. They can make a show work. There's such a thing as telling the public what they want, if you believe in the project.
Even the formidable talents of Alex Haley and Norman Lear couldn't keep Palmerstown, USA on the air. Another CBS casualty was Paris.
Captain Paris, police.
White Shadow and Checking In.
You'll have to reschedule the maids.
Lyle, if you're going to do things like this, I wish you'd give me a little more notice.
Oh, Florence, you're an executive now, and you know what they say. If you can't stand the heat, quit.
In Checking In, Marla Gibbs' Florence left the Jeffersons to run a hotel.
I think she struck it out too fast. I think somehow the transition never happened from the maid, and we couldn't get it together in the material. From the maid in the household to an executive, there has to be a transition and some steps taken, and it has to be seen by the public.
Oh, it didn't bother you this morning when George wrote "Welcome" on your toast and put it outside the door?
Now, it was all in good fun.
So Florence went back to the Jeffersons.
What you laughing at?
That's the door, Florence.
And those are your toes. If you stand up on them, you can reach the door now.
I'm the champion of the underdog, the person who is the mass worker, who can't talk back to his boss because he's afraid he might lose his job. Well, they talk back through me.
Just give me coffee, please.
On Soap, Benson, played by Robert Guillaume, also has the upper hand. This time in a white household.
Nobody ate any eggs. Benson, perhaps on your day off, you'd like to take them home.
Oh, I sure like that, Miss Dick. We just love 3-day-old eggs Benedict down in the ghetto. The little children can use them for hockey pucks.
Like Florence, Benson moves from the kitchen to his own series, but he first spends a year running the governor's household affairs, so his transition to budget director is smooth.
I wish my mother were here to see me. She'd sure be proud of me. If this don't beat all this, is this thing.
I don't care if they are maids or budget directors or whatever, as long as we have the alternative images being presented, and that is what's wrong. We do not see the other side. We only see those basic images coming back at us.
It's not only damaging to the actors, it's damaging to the black people, and it's damaging to the nation. America's looking bad.
If someone came from a country that knew nothing about integration of blacks or the whole racial equality of this country, and they tried to find out what it was about from television, they would get a misrepresentation of what we really are. We are much more advanced in our society.
For our children, they must have something to relate to. They can't relate to anything on TV.
We want to deal with human subjects because we are a people of human substance and of great pride and dignity. And these are the qualities that we want to bring to the screen.
Eventually, we're going to have to come to terms that we have to do for ourselves. I mean, we've been toying with that and playing with that for years, and it has never really become a reality. It's going to have to become a reality.